Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to WWE 2K20. Listen, okay, I know exactly what you're thinking right now. Deonte, you complained about 2K20 so much, why do you keep going back to it? Honestly, I don't even know, really. I don't know why I keep putting myself through this pain, but here we are again. Because to be completely transparent with you guys really enjoyed the last time I was on 2K20 Universe mode and I simulated 5 more years into the future. Or I should say I simulated 5 years into the future. This video right here is 5 more years into the future. And so in part 1 of this video, we simulated 2025 in WWE 2K Universe mode and I was like, let's go 5 more years and see what happens in WWE 2K20 all the way up to the year 2030. You know, the same 2030 where Ted from How I Met Your Mother is about to start telling the story to his kids of how he met their mother. And kids, I'm gonna tell you an incredible story. The story of how I feel about WWE 2K20. It's dog shit. But with that being said, even how bad 2K20 is, I think it's just about bearable for these universe mode simulations, and we have the most up-to-date roster on here. I've almost finished setting up 2K19 on PC with mods though, so this may be my last 2K20 universe mode video, but right now, I just want to continue on with this save right here and see where we get to when we get to the calendar year 2030 and where WWE will be by that year. And so real quick before we finally jump into the main simulation, I'm going to explain a few things about the rules of this episode, or the rule of this little mini-series we're doing, and essentially how this works. So basically when we get to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view or around that time on the calendar, we add in 1 to 2 legends just to spice it up, and legends that could possibly return. Obviously when it comes to this simulation, we're doing 2025 to 2030, so I don't really know who legends, like as far as legends go, who is going to be still wrestling as soon as we get to that year. Like I'd kind of hazard a guess that the people who will be returning in between 25 to 2030 will be people who are currently wrestling right now, people like AJ Styles, people like, I don't know, Becky Lynch, you know, those kind of big returns in those years. But for the sake of this simulation, we'll be still adding in legends, you know, that are actually legends right now, just because this is part 2 of the video, and if I started changing all the rules now, it just makes everything way more complicated, and I don't want to do that. Now, another thing that we did in the 2022-2025 simulation in part 1 of this video is adding in NXT call-ups at the end of every year after Wrestlemania, and so that system of adding NXT call-ups to the roster will be continuing. We have a bunch more NXT call-ups to make, and the first one is a big one. And so without any more further ado, let's wrap up the intro and jump back into WWE 2K20 Universe mode to simulate 5 more years into the future. 2030, here we come. So here we are on the WWE 2K20 menu at Wrestlemania in 2025, and you know, the card is as follows. You all saw it if you watched the end of the last simulation, so I'm not going to go ahead and waste time running through the Wrestlemania card, but Tommaso Ciampa did go ahead and become the Universal Champion, which is a very happy thing to see. You'll love to see Tommaso Ciampa shining with that bald head of his, and also Tegan Nox beat Charlotte Flair in the main event. But anyway, we're not going to recap that right now. And also, by the way, while I go ahead and call up some people from NXT, and I'll show you who those people are as follows. We're also in the simulation, since we're simulating another 5 years, I don't want the simulation to go an hour again because that's just long. I don't think anyone wants to watch this full simulation for an hour. Maybe you do, but I don't really want to make it an hour long. It's just a bit long. I've said long way too many times now, but you get my point. But anyway, I've gone ahead and made a change where we only simulate the Royal Rumble pay-per-view and Wrestlemania for the next 5 years, because those are the 2 most interesting pay-per-views of the year, and they give us a great picture of how the year's going and where everyone is at as far as their progress goes. So we'll just be simulating those 2 pay-per-views from this point forward. And now let's go ahead and call up some people from NXT. And honestly, if you saw the end of the last simulation video, you already know who I'm going to go ahead and call up as part of 2025's call-up class, because they are one of my favorite factions of all time. The first member is Pete Dunne. It is none other than British Strong Style being called up to Monday Night Raw. And you may have heard me say at the end of the last simulation, essentially because Trent Seven, Tyler Bate, and Pete Dunne all lost their titles at the last NXT TakeOver New York, so they're going ahead and they have been called up in year 6. And so congratulations, Trent. I'm so sad that you don't get the same spotlight, the same appreciation as the other 2, but one day, my friend, you're gonna get maybe in this simulation, maybe Trent Seven goes and becomes Universal Champion. It could very well happen. I don't know if I'm gonna put this on a t-shirt or anything, but really the catchphrase for this series should be anything can happen in the WWE 2K simulation. Anything. But with that being said, British Strong Style are called this Monday Night Raw, and we are also calling up the hires of Vanessa Bourne and Aaliyah, and they are both going to SmackDown. And now here we are at the first pay-per-view of this 5-year simulation up to 2030, and you know the rules when we get to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. It is time to add in some new legends, returning legends, and so let's go ahead and do that right now. And so the first returning legend is none other than the Game, Triple H. Because let's be honest, if I think Vince McMahon is still going to be wrestling in 2025, Triple H definitely is as well. The entire McMahon family will never leave. They will never go away. So Triple H is back, and he is now wrestling on Monday Night Raw. And now moving on to the second legendary ad of year 6, it is none other than Molly Holly. Personally, I just want to see her come back for one more match, preferably against Bayley. And so Molly Holly is back again because, I mean, she's still in great shape. She's still doing her thing, so she could very well be wrestling in 5 years. I could see it. She had a great showing in those Royal Rumble matches a couple years ago, I'll tell you that, so I'm kind of good she didn't come back for a full match. But nevertheless, Molly Holly, Triple H are the first legendary ads at the Royal Rumble in year 6. My god, we're simulating a lot of years right now. But anyway, let's go ahead and simulate the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in 2026 and let's see what's going down over here. Okay, Cedric Alexander wins the United States Championship from Rey Mysterio. Kalisto is back in the Universal Championship picture. You love to see it, but you don't love to see how he lost to Drew McIntyre. Pete Dunne, man like Pete Dunne, is on a main roster card. The British Strong Style were called up 9 months ago and they're already doing their thing. He beats Lince Dorado. Love to see that. We'll see you when the Royal Rumbles in a second. Drew Gulak beats WrestleMania main eventer Akira Tozawa for the Cruiserweight title. Ali beats Lars Sullivan for the IC title. You love to see that. He did it. He did it, bro. He did it. Oh my god, let's go, Matt. This is a type of match I've wanted to see for a very long time. I don't think we'll ever see it in real life, honestly, considering everything that has happened. But with that being said, Matt Riddle has beaten Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. You'll love to see that, bro. Maybe this is just the MyCAREER universe talking to me, but I love to see Matt Riddle shining. Anyway, moving on, Braun Strowman is still going at it against Bray Wyatt. These guys have been they've been rivals for years at this point. Can we just not do this? Anyway, Karrion Kross goes ahead and beats Cesaro. I'm not gonna lie, I really want to see that match right there. That'd be a hard-hitting affair. And the winners of the Royal Rumble match is John Cena. Okay, John Cena wins his 4th Royal Rumble? Wait, no, hang on a second. My math is completely wrong there. He won the 2008, 2013, and the 2026 Royal Rumble because John Cena is still doing his thing, and I'm honestly not surprised. But anyway, who won the Women's Royal Rumble? Yeah! Come on, Asuka. This is what I love to see. You know how down bad Asuka has been in so many of these simulations, and my girl has done the damn thing. Let's go, Asuka. Win the goddamn title at WrestleMania. Do it for me. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That was a very, very good Royal Rumble pay-per-view right there. Asuka and John Cena. Matt Riddle wins the WWE Championship from Lesnar after Lesnar just destroyed Kofi at the WrestleMania previous. Dub. It's a dub. Although I will say this. I'm getting another Oracle vision right here. Oh my god. Bray Wyatt just... Okay, so now here we are at WrestleMania in 2026. Samoa Joe is on the cover of the pay-per-view. AJ Styles goes ahead and loses to Cedric Alexander. Man like Cedric still doing his thing as US champion. Randy Orton beats Dolph Ziggler. Zelina Vega is the SmackDown Women's Champion. What the hell happened to Tegan Nox? Tegan Nox was SmackDown Women's Champion a year ago. But anyway, I digress. The point as we move on. Drew Gulak wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Okay, good for him. Akam and Razor are back in the WWE and they lose to the Undisputed Era at WrestleMania. Okay, that is very interesting to see. I guess Vince McMahon was like, I love sweaty men, big sweaty men, and the Authors of Pain was signed back, so good for them. Anyway, moving on. Oh, Akira, mate. Akira. Come on, Akira, man. He loses to Tony Nese. I mean, I'm a little conflicted here because I love both these women and Becky is literally there, but Becky, you know what, by 2025, she's on her return run technically, so she's probably winding down her career, getting ready to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. She's letting Naomi do the damn thing. Naomi's your new Raw Women's Champion. I'm willing to accept that. That was probably a banger right there. Oh. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. The Usos have broken up. Jay is the better Uso though, which I guess in real life right now you can say is true, so good for him. Roman Reigns, speaking of the Usos, Roman Reigns beats Elias in a Falls Count Anywhere match. Shinsuke Nakamura beats Andrade, and John Cena is your new WWE champion. What, at this point he's probably like a 25-time champion. He beats Matt Riddle, okay. And Seth Rollins is your new Universal champion. And you want to speak about a lot of title reigns, Seth Rollins at this point is probably like a 14-time Universal champion. And in the main event of WrestleMania, Baron Corbin wins. But look at Kalisto, man. Look at Kalisto. So inspirational, man. This guy went all the way from 205 Live in 2020. Now it's 2026 and he's main event at WrestleMania. Look at him doing lucha things and stuff. Ah, you just love to see it from a man like Kalisto. But anyway, now it is time to call up some more NXT talent. So let's go ahead and do that. So now we move on to the second set of NXT call-ups here in 2026, the night after WrestleMania. And the first person to go up is none other than Santos Escobar, because he's currently already on 205 Live in this simulation, but he's moving up to the big time, because I'm a really big fan of Santos Escobar, and so he's no longer on NXT, he's no longer on 205 Live, he is going all the way up to Monday Night Raw. And moving on from Santos Escobar, the second NXT call-up here is a massive one in 2026, the night after WrestleMania. The Ring General has finally moved from NXT to be a part of SmackDown Live. And I'll be completely honest with you guys, I've been waiting to call up the Street Profits for a couple years now in this simulation, but they are just continuously the NXT Tag Team Champions, and if they're the champions, I can't call them up. So fam, if Angelo Dawkins wants to keep running it up with Montez Ford, that's his business. If he wants to be champion all the way until 2030, then let them be champions. I don't care. If anything, that's an even more successful career. You were NXT Tag Team Champions for a decade, fam. Oh my god. And so anyway, moving on from the Street Profits, Santos Escobar and Walter are the NXT call-ups for year 7 now. Year 2 of this simulation, year 7 overall. Now we move on to 2077. Someone's been playing too much Cyberpunk recently. Let me say that again. We move on to 2027. Okay. And by the way, for those of you that might be wondering why you're not looking at the NXT takeovers in this simulation, honestly, right now, NXT is such a bare roster. And plus, I feel like by 2025, the roster in NXT is going to be so different, so full of so many people that may have not even started professional wrestling yet. It's going to be filled with such new wrestlers and everything, so it doesn't really feel like a fair simulation to do NXT call-ups that are there now in the years 2025 to 2030, if that makes sense. And so basically, I'm just acting like NXT doesn't exist in this simulation right now. We're all about main roster. The stars of today who are on NXT will be on main roster by 2025 to 2030, so it just makes sense if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. Hopefully it does to you. I'm sorry. But one thing I do understand is that we are now here once again at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view, and it is time to add in some more legends in this episode. And so the first legend that we'll be adding in here at the 2027 Royal Rumble is none other than the Animal Batista, fresh off making another Avengers film. What are they at, like Avengers 15 by then? I don't know where they're at, but Batista is back. He's coming back for one more run because he just can't accept that the fact in his final entrance ever in the WWE, he tripped over. So he's back for a vengeance, and he says, give him what he wants. But now moving on from Dave Batista, we are here at the 2027 Royal Rumble, where Ronda Rousey has picked up the Raw Women's Championship. It wouldn't surprise me if Ronda Rousey was still wrestling in like 7 years. She's an athlete, it would make sense. We'll see who won the Royal Rumbles in a second. Zelina Vega has beat Lana, Rusev is back, AEW crumbled, you know the story. Chad Gable is finally on a main event card, and he's facing his former tag team partner. At this point, it was like 7 years ago, but Shelton Benjamin beats Chad Gable. Aleister Black beats Kane, you know, that was a fun little match right there. Okay. Is there anything you boys want to tell me? Have you been having some troubles or something? Did the split need to happen? But my point is, it's kind of like when, you know, parents are fighting for custody of their children. Roderick Strong and Bobby Fish have gone to this household, and Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole are over there. Okay, I guess William Regal must have sorted that or something. But anyway, moving past the Undisputed Era drama. Oh, okay. Moving past Undisputed Era drama, Santos Escobar, as he's doing bits, he's moving onto the main card of the Royal Rumble to beat Daniel Bryan. That's a big thing right there, and that was probably a banger of a match, and he's even teaming with Vacant now, which you'll love to see. But anyway, Seth Rollins is still the Universal Champion after beating Baron Corbin. Kevin Owens loses to Brock Lesnar and the Men's Royal Rumble. Let's just go ahead and get this disappointment out of the way. I got a bad feeling. I have a very bad feeling right now about the winners of the Royal Rumble matches. Oh, my feelings were wrong. Shinsuke Nakamura has won his second Royal Rumble of his career, and the Women's Royal Rumble was won by Bayley. You know what? That's not that bad at all. And so now here we are at the Wrestlemania pay-per-view in 2027. Let's go ahead and see what's going on. Okay, Randy Orton wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I can see that happening, to be fair, by then. The Authors of Pain beat the Usos, who are back together. I guess they were having some problems about being the head of the table or something by then. I don't know. Liv Morgan beats Mickie James. Okay, I can see that happening. The kind of like legend coming back to face the young up-and-comer kind of thing. I can see that happening anyway. Tommaso Ciampa beats Lince Dorado, former Universal Champion, is now facing Lince Dorado on the Mania card. You don't like to... Lana is the best. Lana #1. Oh my god, okay Lana, wow, that is a glow up and a half. 7 years ago, who would have thought that she would be Universal or Women's Champion, my god. I apparently can't speak when it comes to this game, but yeah, good for you Lana, I love to see that. Robert Roode is the United States Champion after beating Sami Zayn. Fandango and Tyler Breeze are once again the Raw Tag Team Champions after beating the Undisputed Era, who are back together. Andrade has beaten Ali for the IC title. The New Day have beaten Finn Balor and Apollo Crews, that's a weird team, but okay. Ronda Rousey has beaten Sasha Banks for the Raw Women's Championship, you know, that was a banger right there. Baron Corbin beats Drew McIntyre. John Cena is one... Are you... Wait. Nah, hang on a second. Are you telling me that John Cena from WrestleMania to WrestleMania did not lose the title? Because if you remember a year ago in 2026, this man went ahead and won the Royal Rumble, then he took the title off Matt Riddle. Was he champion for a full year and he beat the other Royal Rumble winner? Oh my god, John. Oh, come on, John, man. Okay, WrestleMania main event. Kalisto is still in the Universal Championship picture. Wow. This man is really out here following on from that Rey Mysterio lineage. You love to see it. The little man doing his thing for the world titles. titles, but Seth Rollins has curb stomped him so hard into the mat that his mask is now 6 feet under. But anyway, with that being said, we now move on to the third round of NXT call-ups here in 2027. It's getting more and more of a mouthful. But the point is, we are now on to our third round of NXT call-ups, and let's see who got the call in 2027. So the first NXT superstar to go ahead and get the call-up is none other than Leon Ruff, because it was probably very long overdue by this point in his career, but he is now moving from NXT to Monday Night Raw. But now we move on from Leon Ruff to a woman, right, who, if she is still the NXT Women's Champion, then she can't get called up, and it's going to disappoint me because I've been waiting for her to lose this title and get called up to main roster. For God's sake, Tony, tell me you are... Tony. Oh my god, I love her so much. She's one of the very best. But lose the title and get up to main roster so you can fight for the big boy belts, okay? For God's sake, she's been NXT Women's Champion for like 3 years now. Wow. Okay, I guess she's not eligible to be called up right now, so let's go ahead and call up Candice LeRae. And I guess Candice LeRae can go to SmackDown Live. And you know what? Since we're calling up Candice LeRae, I don't think Johnny Gargano is a champion right now. Let's go ahead and see this. Johnny Gargano is not a champion, so Johnny Gargano is also going up to main finally. I know Johnny Gargano's got a thing about him not wanting to ever go to main roster, but Johnny, I'm dragging you. I don't care if you're scratching the ground, you're crying. No, you're going to SmackDown whether you like it or not, against your will. God, I'm so sick and tired of seeing someone like him down in NXT. Get up to main roster already. It's where you belong, you talented son of a bitch. And so now here we are at the 2028 Royal Rumble, and it is time to add in some more legends here in this simulation, and none other than Beth Phoenix has got the call from Vince. Hey, all right, pal. Well, we got a Women's Royal Rumble coming up. You in? And she was like, I don't really know what that thing was that Beth Phoenix used to do, you know, anyway, I'm a big Beth Phoenix fan, as you can tell. She's returning in the Women's Royal Rumble match, but the question is, will she go ahead and win that event? She's coming back to Monday Night Raw. She can go to Raw. In fact, you know what? No, scrap that idea. She can go to SmackDown, because I feel like I've been adding too many people to Monday Night Raw in this simulation so far, so she's on SmackDown. And Aaliyah is on the cover. Oh my god, is Aaliyah finally doing something? Okay. Aleister Black beats Ali. The Men's Royal Rumble, we'll see that in a second. Liv Morgan loses to Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae is wreaking her path of destruction on main roster now. We all know about Candice LeRae from the Asuka simulation, but anyway, moving on, Jinder Mahal beats Apollo Crews. Mr. Vin. Listen, what did I say? What the hell did I say? Vince McMahon will still be wrestling in 7 years. He'll still be doing the day-to-day operation. Look at this guy beating Sheamus with Cesaro in his corner as well. This guy's like a 70 overall and he's putting himself over. Disgusting. Oh my god, you know this guy. At this point, he's like 85 years old. He probably couldn't even walk. You beat him in a wheelchair, actually. Fun fact, because I'm the Oracle, actually, I can see into the future. Vince McMahon at the 2028 Royal Rumble, just before he came out, tore all of his quads. He could not walk, and he still beat Sheamus in a wheelchair because I'm Vince, pal. But anyway, Vince McMahon goes out and beats Sheamus. Yes! Let's go, Tyler and Trent. They are the new Raw Tag Team Champions. You'll love to see that. Let's go. The Usos beat Authors of Pain, and Tommaso Ciampa is once again the Universal Champion. Randy Orton is the WWE Champion after beating Brock Lesnar. Let's go, Viper. I don't know why I'm so obsessed today with impersonating every wrestler, but anyway, let's see who won the respective Raw. Oh, that is a very nice surprise. The impressive Indy Hartwell has won the Royal Rumble match, and that is very much something I can see happening by 2020. My god, I've done way too many of these simulations lately. My brain is beyond mush at this point, beyond baby food. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But anyway, moving on from that brain malfunction right there, who won the... Seth Rollins wins the Men's Royal Rumble. That's the second win of his career in the Royal Rumble match. Okay. And I mean, it's almost a guarantee that Seth will be wrestling in 7 years, so I can see him winning another Royal Rumble before it's all said and done. But now we move on to Wrestlemania here in 2028. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm really not a fan of these dates. Can we change what the years are called? Can we just get to like 2025 and then just not call them this anymore? Surely there's got to be a name, or like a name for a year that I can say that's a lot easier. We can start calling like, oh, Omega, Alpha, you know. Let's bring back the Greek alphabet for some reason. I don't know what I'm talking about. My god, I swear to god, I promise you guys, I did not get hit by a car before this recording. But anyway, WrestleMania, and the WrestleMania main event is on the card cover. Let's see what happens. Brock Lesnar destroys Buddy Murphy. Okay. Bobby Lashley beats Cedric Alexander here in 2028. Indy Hartwell has become the Raw Women's Champion. That is impressive. You'll love to see that. And the boys are still the Raw Tag Team Champions. This is what I love to see. Good so far. The big... Did I not retire you? Oh my goodness me, the Big Show is still doing his thing in 2028 because I got mixed up. I thought I retired him, and now he's doing his thing on Monday Night Raw, and there's no one to stop him. You know what, Big Show, just because I like you as a person, and I got this career sim mixed up with the Shield one, you can keep going, I guess. You can just keep going. The Big Show is your United States champion. Wow, this guy's still wrestling at the age of like 69. But now we move on from that very terrifying idea that the Big Show is still wrestling in 2027. But anyway, Ember Moon is the SmackDown Women's Champion after being Shayna Baszler. I like to see that. Samoa Joe wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. That's a stacked Battle Royal, by the way. Look at all these faces. But anyway, Randy Orton beats Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. Shinsuke Nakamura beats Kane. Why is Kane still going? My God, how is Kane still going? But anyway, Shinsuke is the IC champion. Roman Reigns goes ahead and beats Elias. Elias is always in these big main event matches. He might just be a main eventer in a couple years. You never know. Seth Rollins has beaten Adam Cole for the Universal Championship after winning the Royal Rumble as well. You know that match was a banger. It happened again? It happened again? Karrion Kross has beaten Goldberg. Wow. He did it at Money in the Bank, and now he did it at WrestleMania. Okay, Karrion, big man. Oh, man. Akira finally gets back to the WrestleMania main event 7 years later or something like that, 5 years later, whatever, and he loses. I don't like to see this. I'm not even gonna lie, I was never really a massive Akira Tozawa fan, like, over the years, but this universe simulation is really making me a fan. I've gotta be honest, like, between Kalisto and Tozawa, I'm just becoming a fan of them both. But anyway, it's now the night after WrestleMania, and we are gonna go ahead and call up some more people here in 2028, and please, for the love of God, Tony, tell me you lost the title. She's still the champion. How? Nah, this doesn't make any sense. How is Toni Storm still the champion down there at NXT? How? This has got to be some sort of record. She's been the champion longer than Asuka was the NXT Women's Champion. But okay, Tony, did Angelo Dawkins lose the title? Or I should say, did the Street Profits finally go ahead and lose those tag titles? They didn't. Okay, my God. Okay, I guess the Street Profits are never getting called up either. I'm sorry. So you know what? If the Street Profits and Toni Storm don't want to go ahead and get called up as advertised, as scheduled, then we'll go ahead and call up Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch here in year 8. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and stop counting the years because honestly, I'm too tired right now to be counting numbers. It's 2028. That's what I know. It's year 8. Okay. The bottom line is Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch are heading to Monday Night Raw. And honestly, seeing these two on Monday Night Raw is gonna be very exciting because, you know, Trent Seven and Tyler Bate right now are the Raw Tag Team Champions. So maybe we'll see that match at next year's Royal Rumble. And so now here we are at the 2029 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But before we do that, you know the drill by now. It is time to add in another legend. And this legendary ad is gonna be the penultimate legendary ad of this simulation to 2030, and so you know what? You know who's gonna come back in 2029 for some reason? It is gonna be none other than Lita. That is right, Lita is coming back at the 2029 Royal Rumble. I don't know why. Honestly, at this point in time in 2029, it'll probably be people like from current day, you know, like current day women's superstars, people like Becky Lynch or Sasha Banks will be making these big grandiose returns in 2029. We'll be all like, oh my God, I can't believe Sasha Banks is back. We haven't seen her in years. You know, at that point, it'll be people of today that'll be legends. But right now, we can't do that because it wouldn't make any sense to change the rules right now. So Lita is coming back in this simulation, okay? She's decided in 2029 she is coming back to Monday Night Raw for one more run in her lifetime. Oh, no. Oh my God. Sorry, I'm not implying that Lita's gonna die in 2029. I didn't mean to say that. Not in her lifetime, in her career. This right here is her final run of her career. I didn't just say lifetime and threaten Lita's life. I would never. But anyway, with that aside, we are now here at the 2029 Royal Rumble. What the hell? I apparently still can't speak, but Karrion Kross has got ahead and beaten Cesaro. Nia Jax loses to Lacey Evans. We'll look at the Royal Rumble winners in a second. The boys are still Raw Tag Team Champions. We love to see that. Andrade has lost to Aleister Black. Akira Tozawa again has lost to Tony Nese. Come on, Akira, man. The Big Show has beaten The Miz, or The Miz has beaten the Big Show for the United States Championship. We love to see that. Big Show, you know what, mate? It's time for you to retire. Somehow, after yet another return, the Big Show made it all the way to 2029, but now he has officially retired forever. No more heel turns, no more returns. He is done. It is over for you, Big Show. Well, it's over. For God's sake. And you know what? Actually, while I'm here, while I'm on a wrath right now, while I'm on a bit of a raw path, Kane, mate, I love you, but you're gone. It's over. It's done. But anyway, back to the Royal Rumble card here. Let's go ahead. Where did we get to? The Miz. Okay. Randy Orton beats Elias for the WWE Championship. Samoa Joe loses the Universal Championship to Baron Corbin, who at this point in his career has won the title a bunch. And the Men's Royal Rumble was won by Finn Balor, which I would very much like to see. Who won the women's Royal Rumble? It was none other than Ember Moon. Okay, honestly, that's not a bad set of winners right there. The 2016 NXT class is doing the world proud. And so now here we are at the penultimate WrestleMania of this simulation. We are here in 2029 at WrestleMania 40 something, I don't know. Tommaso Ciampa has lost to Baron Corbin in the opening match. Akira Tozawa still can't win the Cruiserweight Championship. Zelina Vega has beaten Mickie James. Roderick Strong beats Kalisto. Not a bad match for him at this point, honestly. Indy Hartwell retains the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks, the woman who inspired her to become a wrestler at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. But anyway, Aleister Black beats Chad Gable. Jinder Mahal beats R-Truth, who is still wrestling at the ripe old age of like 58 at this point. Jesus Christ. This man R-Truth is still out here in 2029 doing the confused gimmick, except at this point in his career, it's no longer a gimmick. He is genuinely just a confused old man at this point. I'm predicting it right now. But anyway, Seth Rollins beats Lince Dorado, who has apparently struck out on his own, and he is now a singles competitor, which we love to see. We've been seeing that over the last couple of WrestleManias, so good for Lince Dorado, talented son of a bitch. Anyway, where are Trent Seven and Tyler Bate? Where are my boys? What happened to them? Okay, they better be in the WrestleMania main event against DX or something. Bobby Lashley does not pick up the US title against The Miz. Randy Orton beats Finn Balor, the Royal Rumble winner. You hate to see that. Drew McIntyre beats Samoa Joe. And in the main event of WrestleMania, This Is My Brutality has won the SmackDown Women's Championship and beaten Charlotte Flair. Let's go, Rhea. Oh, there is nothing I love more than Charlotte Flair losing in the WrestleMania main event. Inject that into my veins. And don't get me wrong with the Charlotte slander. I love Charlotte Flair. She's one of my favorite women's wrestlers of all time. But that being said, she wins entirely too much, and even I can recognize that, especially in this simulation. But Ember Moon was the champion, or wait, no, hold on. I have completely botched that. Ember Moon was the Royal Rumble winner, and Rhea Ripley has won the SmackDown Women's Championship, or retained it. I don't know. Either way, I am very happy to see Rhea Ripley with the SmackDown Women's Championship, and now we move on to the final NXT call-ups of this simulation, and this is a very big one. Let me tell you something right now. This, what you're about to see, is the biggest set of NXT call-ups you have ever seen, and I swear to God, if Toni Storm is still the NXT Women's Championship, I'm throwing hands. And before I go ahead and reveal the names here of the final set of NXT call-ups before we end this simulation in 2030, I should preface it by saying it's not biggest in terms of size of how many people are getting called up, but biggest in terms of name power. Wait for it. Because here now in the WWE for the final year NXT call-ups, and you can already see his name if you're very, very observant, Kazuchika Okada, who made his NXT debut after NXT TakeOver Brooklyn last year in 2028. None other than the Rainmaker Okada is getting the call-up to main roster in the WWE. He made the jump from New Japan to NXT, and he's not staying in NXT very long because he is now a part of Monday Night Raw. We are not done yet, because let me go ahead and scroll up. Hiroshi Tanahashi also made the jump, and he is also heading to Monday Night Raw for the final year of this simulation. In this simulation in 2029, there has been a big New Japan exodus for the final few years of their career. Tanahashi and Okada have decided to make the jump to WWE, and it is very exciting for fans all around the WWE universe, brother. The fans are loving it here in the Thunderdome. God, I hope the Thunderdome's gone by 2029. Imagine if it's not. Oh my God, I didn't think about that. What if the pandemic never ends and we're still in the Thunderdome in 2020? Oh no. You know what? I'm just going to remove that negative energy from the universe. I'm never going to say that again. Now, for as emotional as it is for me to say it, we are here in 2030. Ted is about to begin telling his kids how he met their mother. And we are now here at the 2030 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Let's go ahead and simulate this card here on this big event. Karrion Kross has gone ahead and beat John Morrison in the opening match. The Odds of Pain are the Raw Tag Team Champions after beating the Usos. Lars Sullivan has beaten Apollo Crews. We'll see who won the Royal Rumble in a second. Vince McMahon and Edge are fighting in 2030. Somehow, someway, Vinnie Mac and Edge are still doing the damn thing at like 100 years old over there. Suck on that, Vince, though. That's what you get for beating whoever he beat. I don't know who he beat. It was many years ago at this point. My memory's gone by 2030. Anyway, Shayna Baszler, let me try that again. Shayna Baszler has choked the hell out of Maurice with Mike in her corner. Samoa Joe has lost to Adam Cole. You know that was a banger right there for the Universal Championship. Seth Rollins beats Baron Corbin. Roman Reigns loses to Kevin Owens. And in the Men's Royal Rumble, Shinsuke Nakamura has gone ahead and won the 2030 Royal Rumble, the third of his career. You love to see that. And who won the Women's Raw? Lita has won the Women's Royal Rumble match, okay. And to think as well, some naysayers out there were saying she was too old to win the Royal Rumble and too old to come back at this point in her career. What were you guys saying about that? Age shaming her, saying she was close to the end of her life or something? What were you saying? Why would you go ahead and say that? That is absolutely disgusting from you. But anyway, Lita has won the Women's Royal Rumble match. And one thing I forgot to do, by the way, before that Royal Rumble pay-per-view, but you know what? We're just going to say she returned the night after the Royal Rumble. If Lita is out here proving that age is just a number, winning the Royal Rumble and everything, then we're gonna go ahead and bring back none other than, oh, it's time to rock and roll. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think any of you want to hear my Trish Stratus impression for her theme song, but she is coming back and she is heading back to SmackDown Live. And so now here we are at WrestleMania 46 in April 2030, the final simulation of this 5 more years simulation video. Let's see who ends this as the champion. So here we go. Elias is the WWE champion. I'm not even surprised at this point. This guy has become such a main eventer over the years. The Miz has beaten Oney Lorcan for the United States Championship. Interesting to see him in that position. I don't know what happened to Danny Burch, by the way. They are a tag team, but anyway, Jinder Mahal is the IC champion. Okay, good for you. Don't hinder Jinder. Good to see that Chad Gable was even in the picture though. Ruby Riott loses to... Why are you still here? Why have you not retired yet? I'm sorry, Ruby. I'm so sorry. Anyway, Dana Brooke is the Raw Women's Champion. Okay, this is a very interesting Raw Women's title picture, but good for you guys. Apollo Crews has got his win back over Lars Sullivan. We love to see that. And... oh, that's not what I want to see to end this, man. Trent and Tyler, and there's nowhere else they can move up unless they move companies, so unlucky, guys. You just lost the last match of this simulation here in 2030, but you know what? You're gonna get inducted into the Hall of Fame next. I can hear it coming. I mean, maybe I'm a little bit biased because I absolutely love British Strong Style, but they are most definitely first ballot Hall of Famers in my eyes. In your eyes as well? Exactly, I agree. Akira Tozawa. Everybody get up out of their seats and give this man a round of applause right now. Could not be more proud of you, Akira Tozawa. Over the years, main eventing WrestleMania, multiple cruiserweight titles. In fact, we're going to go check how many cruiserweight titles this man has won, because single-handedly, Akira Tozawa has changed the game. Oh my god, look at how inspirational. Look at Akira, man. So inspirational. 13 years in the WWE. He's held the cruiserweight title 9 times. Over 1,000 days held that belt. Single-handedly has just completely put the cruiserweight division on the map. You are a first ballot Hall of Famer. If I was doing Hall of Fame inductions in this series, you would be the first. In fact, no, that's a lie. British Strong Style and Becky Lynch would be the first, but Akira, you'd be third, because Akira has truly won me over in this simulation. He won the main event at WrestleMania. He's always on the WrestleMania card. Just good job, Akira. I'm so proud of you, kid. But anyway, moving on from my love for Akira Tozawa all of a sudden. Anyway, what did we get up to? Okay, the Universal Champion is Adam Cole Bay to end off this simulation here in 2030, and he beats Roderick Strong, who honestly, by the time we get to 2030, Adam Cole won't be in the Undisputed Era anymore. That won't be a thing by then, so this makes sense, to be fair. Kalisto, speaking of people I'm proud of, Kalisto goes ahead and loses to Samoa Joe, but you know what, Kalisto, you've had a great glow up over the years, so good for you. Seth Rollins beats Drew McIntyre. Kevin Owens beats Brock Lesnar. You love to see that. Brock is going out, and he is gone now, by the way. This is it for him. The contract's done. Anyway, and of course, what else was I expecting in the main event of WrestleMania in 2030? What else was I expecting? Really? Charlotte Flair goes ahead and wins the main event of WrestleMania to end off the series, and honestly, it's very fitting that Charlotte would win the final match because, once again, it is Charlotte Flair. But yeah, to be honest, a very fitting way to end the series right there, end the simulation out. This is probably the final one that I'm going to do on 2K20. I am rubbing my hands of this game. We are done now. I did 5 more years because you guys enjoyed the last part, but I am gone now. We move on to 2K19 on PC for the rest of the simulation videos that I'm going to be doing. And trust me when I say to you guys, I have plenty more great ideas for these simulation videos, and with moving to PC and being over there on 2K19 modded, it is only going to get better from here on out. The possibilities are truly endless, and you guys will hopefully see that in the next couple weeks. And also, complete side note, but it's very interesting that I called up Okada and Tanahashi, and they straight up just weren't on any other cards. So, you know, goes to show that WWE will always be better than New Japan. I'm kidding. I'm joking. Oh my god, just to be clear, I am joking, by the way. I love New Japan. I love everyone over there. I love WWE, Impact, actually, AEW, love that. It's all great. But if you did enjoy this video, then go ahead and drop a like on this. It really helps out a small YouTuber a lot more than you think. Sorry, my brain mush, you know the deal. But anyway, subscribe and turn on post notifications. Try to help me hit 10K before the end of the year, unless by the time this video is coming out, I've already hit it, in which case, thank you very much. Oh I really just want to get out of here now. I am low-key dying right now. It is not a pretty scene. For those those of you that kept to the end of the video, I'm sorry for what you see. But I do hope you all enjoyed. Subscribe, like, all that kind of stuff. Let me know what other simulations you want to see down in the comments below. And yeah, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And that's been it. Too sweet.